Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast and welcome to Skaven Team Development. So you guys will probably know by now that Skaven is unabashedly my favourite team in Blood Bowl. It's very powerful but isn't invulnerable, so it leaves me feeling not like complete cheating OP. You can pull off some really horrific things with Skaven, but they can just melt away, so they are absolutely defeatable. And in Blood Bowl 2020, their power in League has lessened a little bit because gutter runners can't get to movement 10 anymore. Now that means there's no more one-turn shenanigans without some clever blocking and things like that. So I feel like they're even more fair now, despite the fact that Thrower got a boost to 2+, so it means you can actually throw some serious throw game with Skaven. Anyway, we've looked at starting rosters, we've looked at tournament rosters. Now we're going to go through and look at each of the players on the team, talk through what skills you want, specifically with the view of how do you develop in a league. So if you're going to be running Skaven in a league, this is the video for you. Let's start off with the Rat Ogre. So not all Skaven teams end up taking the Rat Ogre. It is really useful and that strength is very powerful, but in your starting lineup you kind of have to choose between a Rat Ogre and 2 extra gutters, so either 4 gutters or 2. So if you've watched our starting rosters video, you'll know there's a big choice to make there, and you can add a Rat Ogre later, or you can spend that money on rerolls and linemen to keep your positionals doing stuff. It's a really tough one. I love the Rat Ogre. I can just never seem to afford one in League because my Blitzer number 2 and my kicker just keep dying every single season. It's absolutely brutal. Anyway, the Rat Ogre brings a solid piece of removal to the Skaven team. So if you are running a Roger, then you kind of want to capitalise on its abilities. It's got Frenzy, you know, it's got Mighty Blow, it is Strength 5, and it is pretty resilient as far as the team goes. So 150k, Movement 6, which is good for a big guy, Strength 5, Agility 4+, which is again good for a big guy. No passing, and Armor 9+, which is medium, but it's fine. Animal Savagery, which is the wild animal of old, which is again very manageable. Frenzy, Loner 4+, Mighty Blow +1, and it comes with Prehensile Tail as well. So this guy kind of wants to go on the line and just block and frenzy some stuff, which I'm okay with. So primary, this guy gets strength, and then you've got agility, general, and mutation on doubles. So the great thing about Blood Bowl 2020 is your big guys don't have to take a skill. They can save it. They can save up those skills, and if you want to give block to a Rat Ogre, you can do it. You can 100% do it. All you got to do is wait for it to get 12 SPP. Alternatively, you can take a gamble at 3 SPP and take a random strength. Now, there's a few strength skills that I think will benefit the Rat Ogre, but I don't know if it's worth the risk for a random. So, skills at strength at 6 SPP. Brawler is going to be useful if you are planning on using your Rat Ogre on the line. Okay, if he's going to be your center, then Brawler will do great stuff because you will be able to re-roll that both down immediately every time, and that's hey, just play Dark Orcs, just play Black Orcs for a game, and you'll understand that Brawler will save you loads of times. So Brawler is a great pickup. If you're going to be blitzing with the Rat Ogre, and I do kind of like the Rat Ogre as a blitzer, yeah, you risk wild animal at 2+, but it's 2+. Sometimes it's going to let you down. When it doesn't let you down, you get a Frenzy Strength 5 Mighty Blow dude just going nuts. So I'm okay with that. And if you take Juggernaut, it means that when you do get to blitz, those both downs get into pushes, which means you get to push them away and then have another crack. So a Frenzy Strength 5 Mighty Blow piece is a great
Blitzer. Break Tackle is going to allow him to move around as well, because it's going to take your agility of 4+, add 2, so you get one dodge per turn at 2+ into the open. So if you need to move your Rat Ogre around, having Break Tackle is going to mean that you can do that on a 2+, and it's got 6 squares of movement, which is huge. Guard, if you're going to be using him on the line, Brawler and Guard, I think, or Juggernaut and Break Tackle are really the two skill sets you want to take for the Rat Ogre. If you are more disciplined than I am, what you can do is just save 12 SPP, just save all those casualties, all those MVPs, all those Rat Ogre touchdowns, and get block. It is just better, but 12 SPP versus 14 SPP for example, Juggernaut and Break Tackle, it's really interesting, and I think we're going to see on Blood Bowl 3, when the PC game lands, there's going to be a lot of block claw rat ogres because people are going to be able to put in the time in the games. On tabletop, it's going to take you a very long time to get to 12 SPP on your rat ogre. Let's say a casualty a game, that's still 6 games, so that's and that's being optimistic. It's more likely to be a casualty every other game, which means it's going to be a season before your rat ogre even gets 1 skill. That's pretty tough, although they're not bad at vanilla. Block is great for them. Claw will be very useful. It doesn't stack with Mighty Blow the same way as it used to, so you kind of claw their armor down to an 8+, then use Mighty Blow on the injury table. That's alright. Horns, if you're going to be using the Juggernaut Break Tackle version of the Rat Ogre, if he's going to be your Blitzer, then it kind of turns him into a Minotaur, and I like Minotaurs. Tentacles, if you're going to be using him as the Brawler Guard version on the line, because it's just going to keep your opponents in place, and that's just going to allow you to block and block and block. I don't think you can use multiple block with Frenzy. You can take it, so that's definitely something else to consider as well. If you want to go Guard, multi-block, Tentacles, keep guys in place, block, you know, you can do some great work. Wouldn't worry about stat up with the Rat Ogre. Movement 6 is great, agility 4+ is great for a big guy anyway, and strength 5 is plenty. So there's just a ton you can do with the Rat Ogre. It depends on your build. It depends if you want to use them as a Blitzer. If you want to use them as a Blitzer, then it's Juggernaut, Break Tackle, and eventually Horns. If you're going to use him as a blocker, as a center, as a big guy on the line, Brawler, Guard, Tentacles, there's a lot of stuff you can do. And if you don't take the Rat Ogre, then your primary Blitzers and your primary removal is going to be the Skaven Blitzers. You get 2 of these guys and they are very good. So they are 90,000 apiece, movement 7, strength 3, agility 3+, passing 5+, armor 9+, and block with general and strength on a regular. What can I say about the Skaven Blitzer? Every time I give my second one guard, he dies. This is the downside of the Skaven Blitzer, is you generally you've got 2, and it's the easiest way to strength on your team, and it's probably the most survivable player to have guard on your team. You can give guard to the Rat Ogre, but because of Wild Animal, because of Frenzy, it's not going to be as maneuverable. You're not going to be able to put it exactly where you want it. And quite frankly, when you've got Strength 5 and Mighty Blow, you kind of want to be doing stuff with that Strength 5 Mighty Blow Frenzy. So having a Skaven Blitzer, 1 guy should get guard. I normally don't go guard first. The first one to level up gets Mighty Blow. Guard is statistically, I think, better, but Mighty Blow helps with removal. It just helps, and it will farm additional SPP. Skaven Blitzers, in pairs, 1 gets Mighty Blow, 1 gets Guard. Either of them can get Tackle. Tackle is very useful on a Blitzer. They can perform a really good job as safeties. Now, your linemen can do that. They've still got movement 7 as well, so it's not too pressing. I've had a lot of success with Skaven Blitzers going Mighty Blow. Then you kind of open up what skills. In the olden times, it was based on your doubles and your stat increases. Now, it's completely down to you. So take Mighty Blow on 1 first of all. Then you can save up. You can give him Dodge, make him a Blodger. You can give him Horns, make him a Strength 4 Blitzer. You can give him Claws, do the whole Mighty Blow Claws thing, which, as we just discussed, isn't as good. But you can do that. And because of the way they roll, there's a reasonable chance they're going to get touchdowns. So you're going to get 2 touchdowns reasonably quickly with your Skaven Blitzers if you want to. And there's a ton you can do with them. I really do like 1 getting Guard, 1 getting Mighty Blow. Then give him Guard as well if you want. And you just hunt in packs. These 2 guys are going to be removal. Horns will help you blitz, Claws will help you remove, 2 heads will help you dodge around. Dodge is going to help you stay up and do more dodging. And I've just put this here because there's a ton of other options for the Skaven Blitzers. Mighty Blow on the first one, especially if you don't have a Rat Ogre. If you have a Rat Ogre, then take Guard first. If you don't have a Rat Ogre, then take Mighty Blow first. Because at least you've got 1 guy that has some kind of armor penetration. That's going to be really important. Take the Mighty Blow, take Guard on the other one. Stats wise, at that point, once you've got a little bit of removal on the go, or if you are willing to wait, taking a stat up on a Skaven Blitzer is not bad at all. Movement 8 is wonderful, agility 2+ is wonderful, and strength 4 is also wonderful. That's the thing with these guys. I think the lower end, you need survivability and you need strength and you need removal. So I think Mighty Blow Guard really has to come early. then by all means save up, get a movement 8 guy. Imagine that. Imagine 2 movement 8 guys and 4 movement 9 gutter runners. Your team is really cooking. But it's a lot of SPP and it's a lot of time waiting. And Skaven tend to die. Your toughest players are armor 9+, and you only got 2 of them, these guys. So, and they're going to be in the thick of it, and this is why they tend to die quite quickly. That's why guard is quite important, because it will help protect each other. And that is why the guard guy tends to die on my team so much, is because I will position guard in, I will strike with the mighty blow guy, who normally ends up getting frenzy and claws. So, you know, one gives the +1, the other one just 2 die block, takes him down, kills him, and then the guard guy ends up paying for it, which is tough. But Skaven Blitzers are awesome. Use them as a tandem. You know, any skills are good. Mighty Blow Guard first of all, and then it's just depending on how patient you are. So the thrower got boosted to passing 2+. I'm very excited about this. So the throwers are 85,000, movement 7, strength 3, agility 3+, passing 2+, armor 8+, so pretty vulnerable, pass and sure hands with general passing, as access to their skills on normals and everything else on doubles. So the Skaven Throwers are fantastic. If you can afford 2, take 2. It's 20k, no it's not, it's 35k more than a lineman. You get a second sure hands player and a pass option. And passing 2+ means that these guys are going to get incidental quick passes all the time. Because you know what's really good to pass to? Gutter runners, who are agility 2+. So cheeky Skaven throws on 2+ to 2+ is going to get you those SPPs, and those SPPs are going to get you more skills. There's kind of 2 angles to go with a Skaven Thrower. If you wanted to go heavy running game, then chucking block on a thrower is just going to keep him alive longer, and it's going to mean that you've got some kind of defensive piece. It is going to be really difficult to avoid going the throwing route, though, with the Skaven Thrower. There's so much just awesome stuff here. So accurate is going to mean you are 1+, 2+, 2+ pass 6 squares. With a movement 7 Skaven Thrower, that gives you a window of 13 squares to get it to one of your gutter runners. But it also means that you can play a cheeky bit of pocket pass, so you can actually move your gutters up and just hang back, because then you've got 7 squares of movement and 6 squares of throw on a 2+ with a reroll to get the ball to your gutter. And you've got 4 of them normally, so a real cool spread offense. If you want to hang back even further, you can just straight away take Cannoneer and go for the 2+, 3+, 3+, 4+ play. So 3+ for up to, 10 squares? That's pretty sweet. Although 3+ with a reroll is a lot more risky than a 2+ with a reroll. Just feels terrible. Anyway. On the ball, I've always loved this. Always loved this on the Skaven Throwers because you've got so much movement. But movement 10, because you just get free rolled 3 squares, and it got better in this edition as well. Now it may not come in handy an awful lot of the time, but when your opponent makes a pass, if it's in the backfield, whatever they're doing, you just get free 3 squares, and your thrower is not often in base contact with stuff anyway, so that's just going to benefit you. But realistically, what you're doing is you're doing that 3 squares on the kick to just accelerate your offense. Because with Skaven, they are vulnerable because they are fragile. So you want to score quickly as you can the majority of the time, because it's much, much more fun to make your opponent sweat about having to catch up to you than it is anything else. And the thrower getting passing 2+ just basically means that you start 3 squares closer to everybody. Yeah, you're going to roll a double 1 every now and again, but that's Blood Bowl. You take the risk, and when it pays off, you get SPP, so the thrower is going to level up. So you got a couple of angles there, and the great thing is now that because you can save up and skill buy at 12 SPP for your double, 12, 14 and so on, extra arms means this guy's now picking up on a 2+. Dodge is going to keep him alive more. Big hand means he's picking up on a 3+ forever. Diving catch means that if you've got on the ball and diving catch, you've got a massive window of an opportunity for just a free catch. It's like a free touchback. That's really fun. And 2 heads means this guy's going to be dodging around on a 2+. Now that the restriction on 1 reroll per turn has gone, Leader is probably going to rocket up there as well. So along with the other throwers in the game, I do recommend a block leader version and a throwing version that's probably accurate on the ball. I love the idea of movement 10 and then a 2+ pass anywhere in 6 squares. 16 square window for your first turn to get it to your gutters. That is absolute, that's just gas. That's just unnecessary gas. And you know what? That's going to cost 14 SPP. So Your first skill is going to come quickly enough, your second skill potentially not unless you're scoring with your thrower, and the difficulty with this team is you're going to end up with 1 or 2 throwers, 2 blitzers, and then 2 or 4 gutter runners. So there's up to 8 players that you're going to be scoring with, which would be a problem if you weren't scoring 3 touchdowns a turn. So kind of balance that out, that your guys are going to get, by game 4, you're going to have a good few guys that are at level 2, pushing level 3, and that's really going to be exciting. You can always save up and go for a stat boost with the Skaven Thrower as well. Movement 8 for a thrower is quite useful. Then you kind of feel pressured to become a bit of a runner. With that guy, Agility 2+ is pretty good. Although for 12 SPP you can just pick up extra arms. So, you know, there's that. And passing 1+ does sound really tempting. Because then you're 1+, 2+, 3+, 4+. Then you take Cannoneer and it's 1+, 2+, 2+, 3+. And that is just absolute filth. Now, to get passing, if you're going to take a random stat, I think, let's have a quick look. You have to roll 8 to 13, 8 to 14, or 16. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you actually get an absolute chunk of the dice here. So there's basically a 50% chance of getting passing up. The fail case being movement plus. I don't know if I'd do that, although passing 1+ is actually really tempting. And then a check down of a double skill. There's quite a few decent double skills, you know, extra arms is kind of pseudo agility. But at that point, you've got this on the ball and accurate, I think is going to do more. And then you can also go Nerves of Steel, because then when you do move those 7 squares to get to your 6 square 2+ window, Nerves of Steel means you can just chuck them into a guy and it's just going to throw over there. And you're going to have no impeding. The Skaven Thrower is going to be really vulnerable, and it now becomes a facilitator on the team. So I really like the idea of one with block and leader, keep them alive, or you know, leader then block probably. Well, that's a risky way to do it. And then another guy who just starts with either OTB or accurate. I like OTB on the ball. Is probably going to get you there, but accurate is going to help you farm more SPP because it's going to open the window for your touchdowns more. Skaven Throwers are really exciting because you've got 4 great targets to throw to. The Gutter Runners. So Gutter Runners are absolutely some of the best players in the game. Hands down. 0 to 4, 85,000, movement 9, strength 2, agility 2+, passing 4+, armor 8+, and dodge. So they're movement 9 dodgers with agility 2+. So they're picking up the ball on a 2+, they're dodging around on a 2+, with a reroll, and it's 9 squares. They are the fastest player in the game. The downside of the adjustments to the rules is they can't take any movement plus, which means they are very bad candidates to save up and take a stat increase. You're only getting agility, I think, on 3 results, 14, 15, 16. Now, agility 1+ is pretty good fun, but you can't take movement, and strength on a 15, 16 is quite cool, but at 80k, that's a massive amount of bloat. I just don't think it's worthwhile because they have got so much potential. Gutter Runners. You need to score with them, and they become really good safeties as well. So, to score, as in a Gutter Runner to score, taking block makes them a blodger. A movement 9, agility 2+ blodger. That is fantastic. So block on one guy is just boring, but the right way to go. Wrestle on another will give you a really good opportunity at a cheeky 2-die up wrestle. That works far more often than you need to think. And even if your Gutter Runner then gets fouled or killed out, it's only 85k and you've got 3 other ones. Like, it's fine. You can run a great offense with just 2 Gutter Runners. 3 is easy, 4 is too easy. Like, it's awesome. So, to score, block, catch is going to be really useful for you. Now there is an absolute pro thrower on the team. Being able to reroll that 2+ for free is actually really cool. Like before, I wouldn't have said catch with a Gutter Runner because normally actually it was a hat. It just you didn't do a lot of that because a Gutter Runner was normally the one getting the ball and doing the stuff. But now you've got the passer, the thrower. That's just going to help your team develop. So not bad either. Sidestep is going to be useful if you're going to go for sprint and try the 1-turn touchdown. So if you're going to go for a 1-turn touchdown build, then look at sidestep and sprint. Sure feet's going to make you more reliable. Strip ball, wrestle is going to be a great combo. In fact, strip ball, wrestle, dauntless is wonderful. I'd go wrestle first, and once you've got wrestle, then dauntless. Now the cool thing is you can now save up the SPPs, so you didn't have to. I don't think I rolled doubles very often on my Skaven Gutter Runners, except to get a plus agility, which was pretty fun. Not going to get that anymore, which is a bit of a shame. But that's okay. So there's some cool doubles here. Horns. So Wrestle Horns Dauntless, or Wrestle Dauntless Horns, is going to be awesome to be the guy who runs in there and pops out that ball, because a 1 die block with Wrestle is going to work way more often than you think. And the cool thing is that where you've got access now to these secondary skills, 2 heads makes you 1+ agility, extra arms makes you 1+ agility for catching and for picking up the ball, horns makes you strength 3 on the blitz, nerves of steel just ignores all the tackle zones, and you can even take guard on a gutter runner on purpose. Now the first skill really ought to be block or wrestle. Wrestle to pop the ball out, block to keep your guy alive. But after that, once you've got a blocker and you've got a wrestler, there's options to do an absolute ton of stuff with these guys, whether you go the mutation route. And actually there's an element to it where some of the mutations you might even risk taking a 6 SPP roll on a random for mutations for gutters. You've got 4 of them, 1 gets block, 1 gets wrestle, that's your ball carrier, that's your ball sacker, fantastic, everybody's happy. Take a mutation random, big hand, going to be useful to pick up the ball, claws, less so. Disturbing presence is going to be really annoying. Extra arms, very useful. Foul appearance is going to help keep him alive more than you'd think. Horns, now you're talking. Iron hard skin literally does nothing. Monstrous mouth, catch. And the sure hands protection from strip ball, really useful. Prehensile tail, not going to be fantastic. Tentacles, not good at all. 2 heads dodging around on a 1+. Very long legs. If you get very long legs, if you take a random mutation and you go very long legs, leap is definitely an option for you. It's going to be a 3+ leap with up to 2 tackle zones either leaving or entering. That is not terrible odds. I have leapt with worse odds and worse players than that, but gutter runners are not what they used to be. They kind of got nerfed a little bit, and that's absolutely fine. They can now take doubles on purpose. That is a very fair trade. Block, wrestle, develop your guys with mutations. You've got speed, you've got skills, you've got strength. You can have a great time building these guys. I like block for the ball carrier, wrestle for the sacker, and then you can just do whatever you want with these guys because they are going to be superb. And let's wrap this up with the Skaven Lineman. So what can you say about linemen? We talk about this in every single video. The linemen are a great candidate for a 3 SPP random skill. So in that, this team got better. Block is going to be useful. Dauntless will come in handy. Dirty player will come in handy. Fend less so. Frenzy, it puts the pressure on for you to get some guard on the go, but actually it will come in handy, especially as a safety. Kick is going to be fantastic. Pro is just going to end up being a really useful player. Shadowing, not going to do a lot, although movement 7 is alright for that. Strip ball can be useful, sure hands might be useful, tackle will be useful, and wrestle will be okay. So as far as the linemen go, these are probably the worst candidates for a random, but the thing is with the Skaven linemen is they tend to just die. You've got blitzers, you've got gutters, you've got throwers. Those guys are scoring the touchdowns. Every now and again a Skaven lineman is going to get a touchdown, so it might be worth taking a random, but I cannot stress how important a kick player is on a Skaven team. So if you get a touchdown guy, maybe don't risk the roll, maybe just wait for him to get a second or an MVP or something. Maybe even farm out a cheeky 3+ quick pass with them, because actually kick will just help your team dominate. Every time I get a kick lineman, he ends up dying somehow, which is absolutely gutting. But the whole point is the linemen go on the line to die. If you've got a Rat Ogre, it's going to make it slightly safer for them. If you don't have a Rat Ogre, then these guys exist for the sole purpose of being punched in the face. Block is going to help them not die. Wrestle is kind of like a dual threat. I really like Wrestle on the Skaven Lineman. It brings your opponent down as well and means you've actually got a decent kind of desperation play to drop somebody down with a blitz. I do like Wrestle on Skaven Lineman, potentially more than I like Block. Dirty player is going to allow you to do a bit of fouling. Kick is going to help with that, control off the pitch. Now the cool thing is you can save up. If you can save up somehow to get 12 SPP with a Skaven Lineman and not die, then guard is going to be fantastic for them. There's a bunch of other stuff they can do, but guard, the more guard you get on a Skaven team, the less likely your Skaven team is to just die. But getting them to 12 SPP first of all is going to be really tough. There's definitely an opportunity to go that way, and if you can do it, then absolutely. But I've yet to manage that, I don't think. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap up the Skaven video here. I love Skaven.
this team got really exciting. I love the Thrower, and the Gutter Runners are just going to do so much work. You've got the potential of the Rat Ogre, you've got 2 Blitzers that will do just fine. The great thing about Skaven is they don't get everything they want until 1500. And by that time, other teams are doing the same kind of power. So it's really cool. You've got a lot of explosivity, but a lot of fragility. So I love Skaven because they're a challenge, but they are dirty sometimes. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. We'll be back again soon with more Blood Bowl content. See you later. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the show even further, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Or come and join us in our Patreon, link below, where you get early access to our content and monthly competitions. See you later.